What's up guys, Boris here and welcome back to my Kaido theory series. Now in part 2, I'm going to cover what I believe is a strong connection between the genius Vegapunk and Kaido himself. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now if you go all the way back to the battle between Zoro and Bartholomew Kuma, you remember that he mentioned the fact that Vegapunk is a scientist who is 500 years ahead of his own time. And as soon as I heard that, I realized that this character of Vegapunk is inspired by the character or by the person known as Leonardo Da Vinci, the famous scientist, painter, whatever you want to call him, who was known to be hundreds of years ahead of his own time. So this is definitely an inspiration when it comes to Vegapunk. Now to further prove my point, take a look at the island from which Vegapunk is from. It's called Future Island, and it's actually known as the Island of Mechanism. So like I talked about, Leonardo Da Vinci was well known for his mechanical inventions, and same thing here with Vegapunk, also the master of mechanical inventions. Now that's cool and all, but what does it have to do with Kaido? Well, again, let's talk about Future Island. This is a snowy island, and it says here that when Vegapunk was young, he was concerned for the well-being of his fellow islanders. So, what did he try to do? He tried to build a mountain that would work as a ground heating system to be able to heat up the entire island. And I'll talk about why this is important. Not only that, something else small that's in that panel was the fact that he says that he even got the beast of the forest to work on it. So I mean, this was a big project, but essentially it ended up failing when he did it the first time. But I think that we've seen this project in motion a second time. This time it'll probably succeed. So I'm going to show you guys right now what I'm talking about. So if you look down below, you'll see the panel where, again, X-Drake meets Scotch. Again, you'll see the trees that are made of metal, like I said, which is very odd. But here is the thing I want you guys to look at, and look in the background of the picture. There is a half-completed mountain in the background, and I want you guys to now take a look at this next picture. If you look in the next picture, which is from Caribou's flashback, you will see that the mountains in the background are complete. So, what is this? I think that these mountains that are being built and that have been built during the time skip are the same type of mountains that Vegapunk was trying to build back in his own town. We know that he had failed a lot of his experiments as a kid due to lack of resources, but now that he has the resources of the world government, I believe that he had finally been able to do what he wanted to do as a kid and be able to warm up this entire country with his ground heating system. So this is why I believe that Vegapunk is working with Kaido, not necessarily in a bad way, because we do believe that Kaido is a bad guy, and I believe that Vegapunk is a good guy, but I think he's working with Kaido's favorite, at Kaido's favorite island to try to help out the residents of that island. So if that doesn't blow your mind away, I don't know what would. Now, if that wasn't enough evidence to convince you guys that there's a connection between Kaido and Vegapunk, then here's some more. Like I said before, Vegapunk is based off of Leonardo Da Vinci. And in his later years, Leonardo da Vinci ended up settling down at the Chateau des Amboise, which is right next to the King of France's residence. Now, if you guys remember, Kaido represents France, so this makes perfect sense. And what exactly was Leonardo da Vinci doing there? Well, I'm going to read straight off from the Wikipedia article, and here it is. Leonardo was commissioned to make for Francis, who's the King of France at the time, a mechanical lion which would walk forward. So, I mean, literally, he was working directly under the King of Francis in his later years. The King of France, sorry, who was Francis. I mean, this works out perfectly. You have Leonardo da Vinci working for the King of France. You have Vegapunk possibly working for Kaido when you're probably building those mountains. This makes perfect sense. And leave it to Toda, who always studies his history, to put this kind of connection there, if it turns out to be true. So then if all of this does end up being true, what exactly does this mean? What implications are there? Well, first off, it doesn't mean that Vegapunk has to live on the island. He could definitely, just be giving the orders and make, maybe Kaido's henchmen are actually building the island. Like I talked about, when he was a kid, he got the beast of the forest to work on it, and we know Kaido's the king of 100 beasts or something. So you could definitely see, Kaido building it, Kaido or his army building the thing, and Vegapunk just giving him the plan. So it doesn't mean that he has to be there in case the Straw Hats do end up visiting that island. But it is very interesting that there is that connection there. Is Scotch maybe built by Vegapunk? We've seen that he's a robot. Is he a cyborg maybe? I don't know. But there's definitely that possibility that Vegapunk also built him, maybe as a pre-pacifista, as sort of an alpha or a beta version of a pacifista. Who knows? But I also want to talk about, there's a chance, a lot of people speculated that Kaido himself is a cyborg. And, that would explain why this is his favorite island, is because he would feel right at home with an island where it's a mix of mechanical buildings and nature. You combine the two, bind them together, and you get Kaido's favorite island. And maybe if he's a cyborg, maybe that's why he likes it so much. So I really don't know. But, there's just some speculation that people have been tossing around. And, this connection does strengthen some of those. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I covered a lot in this one. Let me know what you guys think about it. Do you guys think that connection is there? Do you think there's enough evidence for it? Part 3 will be coming soon, like always. I'm going to try to do one of these a week. Don't know how many more parts. I do speculate there's going to be around 4 or 5 parts. Definitely more than 3, because I already have 4 planned. So maybe if I get a 5th one in there, that'd be cool too. But let me know what you guys think about it. Are you guys hyped for part 3? Let me know in the description down below. Like the video if you liked it. Make sure to subscribe for more One Piece theories. And until next time, peace.